Hey, what's up guys? It is time for a new video. Don't forget to like and subscribe for more and comment below what else you want to see from me. This is a new series I'm starting on my channel. It's kind of a how-to series, but kind of not. It's kind of whatever I decide I want it to be as we go. So today it is going to be a how-to video, and today we are making these. We're making pillows. They're so easy. I can't even wait to show you. Seriously, so easy. I recorded when I made this one right here, and then I realized my camera was having a hard time focusing the whole time, so we're starting over. I was planning on making a second pillow anyway, and this one was kind of a good learning process, so I guess you're just getting the better video regardless. But yeah, so we're just using 2 different crochet stitches and a few really simple materials that you can just pick up at Walmart. So let's get started. So first of all, what you're gonna need, I'll show you inside the package, these 18 by 18 inch just pillow inserts from Walmart. They're like, I think it's like $8 for 2 of them, and they're just a good size for like couch pillows, which is kind of what I was going for. The other things that you're gonna need are obviously yarn. I got this, well, you know, this yarn and this yarn at Joann's on sale. I think it was on clearance sale for like $5 each. So I'm using this like really loopy yarn. This particular one is by Lion brand. It's homespun and it's called Granite Stripes if you wanted to make this exact thing. The other thing I got is a yarn for the back, because one skein of this yarn is not enough for the back and the front, and I don't know, I kind of wanted to change it up anyway, so I got this really cheap yarn. It's already pretty far gone. I'll probably have to get another one before I finish this pillow. But this is just the Red Heart Super Saver. I got this at Walmart for like $2 or $3, but it's just like this nice tan color. The last thing that you're gonna need, well, last 2 things actually. The last 2 things that you're gonna need is obviously a crochet hook. I used a size N 10mm hook, and obviously scissors. The most complicated thing about this pillow is just making sure that you get the sizing of everything right and that you do your stitch count right. The stitches themselves are so easy, and I'll show you what I mean. So I'm going to change the camera angle so you can see what I'm working on kind of from my view. I think it's the easiest way to show you, and we'll get started. I'll show you what I did. Okay, so for this video, I'm not going to be showing every detail of simple crochet. I'm going to include links in the description below instead that will have like more detailed instructions on how to do things if you haven't done crocheting before. I just feel like I don't want this to be a really long video. I just want to show you how I made this because I just made up this pattern myself. So that's how we're going to do it. So the first thing that you need to do, grab your hook. Obviously, if you're not using this exact yarn, just make sure you grab a hook that's big enough to handle whatever yarn you grab. Okay, so for the front part of this pillow, we're just going to be doing what's called a loop stitch. So to get started, we obviously need to first make a slip stitch. If you need help knowing how to do that, I'll include a description or a link in the description for that also. Grab your hook. For this pillow, with this size yarn, 18-inch pillow, I did 34 stitches across. So I'm just going to do that for this pillow. And this, if we hold this up to our pillow, you can see that it's like just slightly longer than our pillow, which is what we're looking for. So now I'm going to go back through the same chain with the single crochet. So I'm going to do 1 turning stitch. So what I usually do is I like to put my hook through, well, if you look at the stitches, you can see that from this side, you can see these little top loops that are happening. And this side you can see the front of the stitch. So what I like to do is I like to put my hook sorry, I like to put my hook through both top little bits and just leave out the very bottom loop of the stitch. And for a single crochet, literally all we do is yarn over, pull through, yarn over, pull through. It's so easy and normal. So I'm just gonna go ahead and put that through the 2 top loops. Yarn over, pull through, yarn over, pull through the top loops. Yarn over, pull through, yarn over, pull through. Top loops again. Yarn over, pull through, yarn over, pull through. And that is what your single crochet is going to look like. It's just one nice little row, and I literally just keep doing this back and forth through the whole thing until it's done. And these kinds of yarns can be really frustrating to work with if you're not really used to it. Just be patient with yourself. If you're having a hard time, it'll get easier as you go and you kind of like learn the yarn, get familiar with it. That sounds weird, but you know what I mean. The more you work with something, the easier it gets. You'll start to be able to like tell where the stitches are easier and stuff. I just keep in mind when I'm doing this, I've been crocheting since I was 6. So I have a lot, like years and years of practice under my belt working with all kinds of different yarns. So don't feel too bad if you're going slower than I am. There we go, our first row done. So let me show you what I'm doing for my loop stitch. It's really easy, and like I said, I'm only doing it going one direction, so that makes it even easier. So we just do one more turning stitch. What we do, you're just gonna stick, I've been putting my hook through both loops on my chain, or on my single crochet, just because I think it makes it a little bit more sturdy. So it's basically like doing a single crochet, except when we're looping, when we're doing our yarn over, instead of just yarning over and pulling it through like that, we basically grab both of these threads and kind of use our finger to hold up this yarn a little bit, and then that is what creates our loop right there. What I usually have been doing is I release it, then I hold it with my middle finger right here, I yarn over going the other direction from usual because I think it's easier to grab that way, and pull through all 3 loops that are on your hook at that point. So let me show you again. Let me get like zoom in a little bit more. You can see it really good. So this is what I do. Just like that. It's very, very simple. So you grab both threads, yarn over one more time, pull them through. Put our hook through both of the top single crochets, grab both of our pieces, hold it, pull it through. So I hope that that makes sense. I think it's pretty easy. Let me see. There you go. Pull it through. One more time. Yarn over, grab both threads, pull it through, yarn over, pull it through. And that creates this really cute little row of loops. Love it. So simple. So let me just keep going, then I'll show you at the end what it looks like too, and how to, and then I'll also show you how to turn like I've been doing. Okay, so now that we've got our whole row of loop stitches done, we need to turn over and get our thread back over to here. I thought about just cutting it and starting over here and having really close loop stitches, you know, the really close rows, but I didn't want them to be that close because as you can see, even with still turning back and doing a row in between, there's plenty of loops. It's definitely like a very fluffy looking pillow. So I was trying to think of ways to make it so that we used up the least amount of this yarn as possible to keep things more low cost with just one skein of that stuff, but also still have like nice tight looking loops. So this is what I came up with. So we're just going to do one row going back with this yarn, and I actually like this because from now on we're going to be feeding our loop stitches through a row of single crochets with this yarn, and it's just a lot easier to tell what's going on with this yarn than it is with the really loopy yarn. If you know what I mean, you'll probably be able to see once we get going, but it's just nice. So let me show you. So we just start a new thing with this yarn, which you're gonna have to do every time because you have to cut it and start it off on the other side. You can't just keep it going. Tighten this up, and then I'm just literally going to connect them like that with one little chain type stitch. If you needed me to show you that again, what I did was start a new project with a slip knot on my hook, and then this loop from our last stitch that's already on our project. Put them both on my hook like this, and then I use the thread that I'm going to be starting with from now on, and I just literally yarn over and pull it through both, and suddenly you have them connected. You can make this nice and tight by just pulling on, you know, the previous yarn that you've been working with, and then we just start our single crochet row. So easy, and you'll get the hang of it as you go. You're going to be doing this every single time you switch yarns, which is every time you start a new row. And I've just been leaving this while I work on my row. You can cut it if it bothers you, but I just leave it until I'm ready to start on the other side because I'm lazy and it's faster. But yeah, so then we're just going to do a single crochet row across. Put it through both loops on the top of your stitches on your last row. Make it nice and secure, and also it kind of hides it a little bit better. So at least you're grabbing both strings. And we're just literally, it just looks like that. It just looks like that. Super simple. Cool, so fast. We're already done with a nice row of single crochets. Now what we're going to do is literally the exact same thing we did starting this row. I'm going to go ahead and cut this yarn. I usually like to give a little bit extra just so that nothing's coming out. Make a new slip knot. Take my hook off of this loop that we were previously working on. Put my slip knot on my hook, go to my project, and now we're going to be working back this direction again, so I'm going to face it this way just to make my life easier. Oops. There we go. Now we're going to go ahead and put this through this loop. Make it nice and tight again. And then we're going to take the thread that we're going to be working on from now on, hold it all together, yarn over, pull it through both, make it nice and tight. Ta-da, we are starting on our next row. Super simple. So now I'm literally going to do the same thing again with my loop stitches and go back through this row right here. And you can see we're starting a whole nother row of stitches, of nice loop stitches facing out. Because we only want loop stitches on one side of our project, obviously. We're not going to see the inside. And this is literally all you're going to be doing for your whole project. I don't even know how many rows I did. I just went until it was a square. And that's what I did the whole way. So I'm going to go ahead and keep working on this and get back to you when it's done. And we'll see where we're at with this yarn. I might have to go get more of it. We'll see. Luckily, it's just the cheap stuff at Walmart and not some of the specialty stuff. Hey guys, it's the next day and I'm finished with the front of this pillow. It's so soft. That's what it looks like. So you can see the brown parts on the back, but not on the front, which is really cool. On the front, it just looks like solid loops. So that worked out really good. I have a feeling I might need to get some more of this yarn because it's running pretty low. We're gonna see how we do. But I'm just gonna go ahead and start on the back side, which, if you remember, looks like this. Literally, it's just single crochets. It's very simple. And so I think I did 34 stitches across on the front of this one and 45 stitches across on the back because this yarn is more narrow than this yarn, so you have to kind of adjust to that. So I'll do the same thing with this one. Here's the front again. All of the edges are still unfinished. They have like all of these fun bits that we're gonna have to deal with. Also, sorry about my super loud lens. I'm gonna watch this back and be like, ugh, but there's nothing I can do about it because this is just a cheap lens. Anyway, so let me switch the camera around and I'll show you how I'm doing the backside. Okay, so for this part of the project, it's going to be really simple because all we're going to do is our normal slip knot. Ta-da! Same hook as we were using before. Let me actually, there you go, show you a little bit closer up. So I'm just literally going to chain 45 stitches. Okay, there we go, super simple, just like that. Cool. So we've got 45 stitches. Let me just show you how it lines up. So this is why I did 45. If I'm looking at my pillowcase, it ends up being just about the right length, same length as my pillowcase. I don't know if you can see that, it might be too zoomed in, but you get the point. And that's kind of how I went with it. Since I'm not using a pattern, you just kind of do what you want. Okay, so I'm literally just going to be doing single crochets all the way across. So there we go, so simple. We've got our first half done. I'll be working on this puppy tonight and then we'll come back tomorrow and I'll show you how to stitch it all together around a pillow, and then you'll have really cool customizable pillows that you can make yourself. Awesome! It is a few days later and I finished both halves of my pillowcase. I did end up having to run to Walmart to grab a little bit more of this yarn because I ran out halfway through, as you can see by that little knot. But otherwise, everything is good. Super easy to do. I hope that that single crochet makes sense to you. So the last step is now just to sew those halves together around your pillow. So I'm gonna change views and show you how to do that. Apologies in advance for the stupid lens. Someday I will get a higher quality lens. But for right now, this is what we got. So what I'm going to do, first of all, I'm going to go ahead and cut the tags off of this pillow because the care instructions are very simple and we just don't need it. Then I'm going to go ahead and start sewing the two halves together. Now we don't need to put the pillow into what we're sewing until we're doing the last edge of the 4. So I'm just going to show you how to do that without it first. So we've got our two halves. Now I don't want to end, I want to make sure our rows are going the same direction first of all on either side. And I don't want to end with doing one of these more difficult sides. So what I'm going to want to do is have one of these straight sides be the last side that I sew together. So I'm going to start on this side, work my way around to where this is the last side probably, if that makes sense. So we're just going to be doing regular old single crochets. I've got my hook with my slip knot on it like usual. So we're sewing from the inside out, so we want to put all of the loops on the inside so that this stitch that we're doing you can't see when you flip the yarn or flip the pillowcase outward. So let me show you. First we're just going to get this on here. Apologies for my loud camera. Put it through both of these first rows. Oh gosh. This is the hardest part of the whole thing, I promise. It's just getting it started. Okay, there we go. Just keep everything organized. Hold it really firmly. We'll do our first good single crochet. Then what I like to do is I like to give it an extra pull and really tighten it up. Okay, so the most challenging part, let me zoom in a little bit more. The most challenging part with this is making sure that your loops don't get caught up in that stitch, because you want those loops that are on the whole end of your piece, but then you also want all of these loose ends to be tucked into your stitch that you're doing right now, because then there's no chance of them migrating out anywhere as the pillow gets used. So we're just going to do our second row. Remember, kind of keep this a little bit pulled taut so that everything can all even out at the end. Okay. That's why I didn't want to do this end last with the pillow already in it, because it just adds an extra layer of difficulty. Okay, so I'm just going to go ahead and zoom through this, and you can just keep watching what I'm doing, but I'm really just doing single crochets and tucking my ends in as I go, making sure my loops are out and my ends are in. Okay, finished the more difficult side. Now it looks nice and clean and put together. Now we're going to switch over, just keep on going and do this nice easy side before we do one more hard side. Here we go. Whew, okay, one more side to go, and then we'll be putting it all together and doing our last side. Done. Zoom me back out. Finished. Okay, so now we have 3 of the 4 sides all crocheted together. And now we just need to turn this sucker inside out and do the last side. So I'm just going to try to carefully do this without having to cut my yarn. Just grab the corners. Pull them out, make sure everything gets all turned around the way it should. And then we're going to take our pillow and put it inside of our pillowcase. Don't want a hair in there. Okay. Now carefully stretch it out into place. Yeah, Woohoo! It's always a relief when something you make homemade fits the right way. So now we're just going to go ahead and stitch this together. Obviously, as you can see, all the other stitches were all on the inside, but this one we're going to have to do on the outside. This one I'm going to modify a little bit and I'll show you what I'm doing. It's kind of like a half single crochet, just to make the stitch even smaller so it doesn't really stand out at all. And I'm actually going to go ahead and finish this off so I can start over here and keep working on the brown side because the brown side is easier to work on. Okay, tuck that in obviously. We're going to start a new slip knot. Put that on. Let me zoom you back in. So we're going to start right here, and so I'm just going to do this half single crochet. So I'm going to put these in and get my thing going like usual. Oops. Sometimes that happens. Okay, and that's basically what I'm going to be doing the whole way through. Put it through each side just like you would, and you yarn over, pull your yarn back through, but instead of yarning over again and pulling back through, you just finish it. And what that'll do is that'll make this string basically sewing through each side of this without going over it, so you won't be able to see it as much. And as I go, you'll probably be able to see even better what I mean. See, so it's kind of like invisible. It's just looping through the stitches instead of going over the stitches. Ta-da, totally invisible. I'm just gonna do that all the way across. This is why I didn't want to do one of these more, one of the messy edges with all of the ends sticking out. I didn't want to do my finishing stitch up here with an edge like that because it would be impossible to do this kind of like nice invisible stitch with all those messy ends. And we're done. Cool. Okay, so to finish, I'm just gonna do, one more little chain stitch to close everything off, and then I weave my hook through like this, and I just take this end and pull it back through so that no one can see it. I'm gonna cut off that string too right there. Ta-da! Done. So there you go, guys. That was start to finish making a super simple crochet pillow cover. I can't wait to put these on my future couch in my future apartment that we are currently applying for in New York City. I'm so excited. Anyway, thanks for watching. Don't forget to like and subscribe and comment down below what else you'd like to see from me. I've got a plethora of knowledge and lots of things I want to share, so just tell me what's next. Can't wait till the next time.
Hey, we're gonna do a vlog.
Well, it's not what we're doing. We're going out to take pictures today. We're both feeling really sluggish.